So Green River Distilling has continued to expand its reach across the country, and along with that has released their new Green River Full Proof Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, which takes the brand's flagship bourbon and gives it to us with a full proof flavor and an amazing price. Come right back to find out more. It's the Mash and Drum. What's up, folks? I'm Jason C. for the Mash and Drum, and welcome back to the show. Like, subscribe, and help keep supporting the channel to help me hit that 100,000 subscriber mark for here in 2024. Appreciate the support, everybody. All right, so Green River Distilling, who was purchased by Bardstown Bourbon Company back in July of 2022, has brought us a Green River bourbon, a Green River wheated bourbon, a rye, and now this full proof bourbon. Now, before this bottle, full proof single barrels were only available for purchase by the barrel, or get a single barrel selection from a store or a group or something like that. The only thing that's really left for them at this point is a barrel proof rye and maybe some finishes along the way, but we'll see what happens. So this bottle, the Green River Full Proof, is a blend of 5 to 7 year barrels selected from curated areas of Green River's Owensboro tile warehouses, and feature the same mash bill as Green River Kentucky Straight Bourbon, which is 70% corn, 21% rye, and 9% malted barley. Now, going forward, each batch will be bottled at a variable batch proof. This initial batch is bottled at 117.3 proof and will be available for a suggested retail price of $49.99, which is a great price point. Now, that variable batch proof is a quality we see in Elijah Craig Barrel Proof and Stag and a lot of other cask strength offerings that we see on the shelf. So let's dive into this one. Excited to bring this one to you guys. Here we go. So this comes off almost like a holiday cider to me, where it smells like, I don't know, like holiday, like cinnamon and candy apple, a little bit of cherry in there too. You have your notes of vanilla. I've been fortunate enough to do a barrel pick at Green River, and when you're tasting some of those single barrels, most of them either lean very heavy cherry and tobacco and sometimes very heavy on the maple syrup side. For me, I feel like this one is leaning more towards those that cherry flavor, but it'd be really cool to see if other releases of this get into more of a maple syrupy type of note. So it's very balanced on the nose. I do think you get the high rye, so I think you get a little mintiness there, but kind of, coupled with what I said before, with that heavy cinnamon, cherry baking spice type of combination, and also, your caramels and vanillas here. But I feel like the more this opens up, the more that mintiness is starting to come out from that rye spice, which I really like. So let's give it a try. This is really delicious. Tons of caramel and spice here immediately up front. Again, that high rye, I think mash bill really gives you a good amount of spice. You guys know I love spice. I love kind of that coupled with a lot of sweet, which is what this brings. I'm not getting as much cherry on the palate as I was on the nose, or dark fruit for that matter. But I am getting a lot of baking spice. It almost has more of like a bourride like type of feel to it, because there's so much spice to it, which I love. One thing that I get a lot in Green River too is a pretty heavy citrus note, which I think is coming from that rye. I think that's starting to come to the forefront as well. Just very well balanced. Everything's very integrated. It's blended really well. Another note that's starting to kind of creep up a bit is a nice little barrel char note to kind of go with all that sweet and spice. This is delicious. For 50 bucks, I don't know. This is going to be an interesting bottle to do in probably an upcoming triple base episode, wink wink, to put it against, bottles like Rare Breed, maybe even Maker's Mark Cask Strength, maybe an Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. Remember, Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, some of those age statements are getting down to about 8, 9 years old. Can this compete with that? I don't know if this will get as complex as some of those, but I do think the key with this bottle will be consistency. We'll see how variable not only the proof goes, but the flavor profiles as well. It'll be interesting to see if their plans going forward will be to keep it this flavor profile or to switch it up along the way. I think every distillery, master distiller, has a different plan for some of the releases. I mean, we see it a lot with the Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. I think Rare Breed, even though it's at a consistent 116.8 proof, those could be variable batch to batch as well, depending on which one you have. All right, last sip. It's good. I think the more you sip it, the sweeter it gets. I do think that dark fruit takes a little bit of a backseat. It just gets into a more of a caramel, vanilla, spice, very spice driven, a little bit of allspice, and some of that citrus comes through, and you get a lot of that rye spice that comes to the forefront as well, with a little bit of oak and barrel char, I think, to kind of balance it all out. So a very well blended bourbon, very good price. Let's go to the final breakdown. All right, guys, price for the new Green River Full Proof, you're looking at $49.99. As far as resale market, I haven't really seen these on resale market at all. This is pretty new. As far as availability, they have a pretty good reach now, but they've just expanded into a bunch of other states. I think they've expanded to Nevada, Arizona, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Washington, Massachusetts, and a few others. So their expand is growing, but people I see tend to kind of walk by Green River a little bit, but we'll see what happens with this one, if it's a different type of take, being that it's foolproof and also a great price. So availability for now, I'll say it's good. As far as value goes, this is a really good value for what you're getting for $50. It'll be interesting to see if people kind of key into this bottle as it starts hitting more and more markets. It's just a really great bourbon for the price. The most I'd pay here, given that it's a blend of 5 to 7 years, I would say would be retail. If this was even a bit over retail, you know, say 55, 60, I'd probably still pull the trigger on it just because I love the flavors in here and I love the spice. As far as alternatives go, I think Wild Turkey Rare Breed is right there with it, although Rare Breed these days is a little bit more expensive than this is, and also has some whiskey that's a little bit older. I think 12 years is the highest age bourbon that's in Rare Breed, although we don't know how much of a 12 year is in that blend. However, I would say Penelope barrel proof as well. Now, some folks may say Stag or Elijah Craig barrel proof. I don't think it's up to that standard quite yet, but as this goes along, maybe gets a little older, with these flavor profiles, it could get up to that type of echelon sooner than later. And as far as recommendation, is this a skip, a try before you buy, or buy and back it up? I think for me, this is at $50. This might be my first or second buy and back it up of the year so far. I think this is that good. I think for the price, before they start getting popular, because I do really feel like this could start getting a lot of notoriety as we go forward here. This is an absolute fantastic bourbon for the price, and it's kind of refreshing to see a bigger distiller that's bringing something to the market, which isn't surprising given that Green River has given us a bourbon, a wheated bourbon, and a rye all at $35. So for this to only be $15 more at a full proof level with these variable proof points, again, we'll see how consistent they go, if they get higher in age as the years go by. But right now, this is fantastic. I say buy and back it up. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed this review for the new Green River Full Proof. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that subscribe button below. Please hit the like button, and if you haven't yet, follow me on Instagram. Let me know down in the comments what you think, and if you have any ideas for any bottles for me to put this against in a very, very soon and up-and-coming episode of triple bass, maybe even quadruple bass. I know, love to hear your suggestions down in the comments, and as I always say, it's not about the whiskey, it's the people you share with. Cheers. I'll see you next time right here on The Mash and Drum. Cheers, folks.